Have you ever walked past a really busy shop and thought, wow, the owner must be rolling in it? It seems obvious, but figuring out what a business is really worth is trickier than you think. Today, we're going to crack that code. Not with some boring textbook, but through the simple story of a local shopkeeper. And in the process, we're going to stumble upon the single most important rule in all of finance.
So picture it, your local corner store. It's packed to the gills with products, customers are coming and going. You'd think the owner is doing great, right? But, looks can be deceiving. How does that owner actually know for sure what his business is truly worth?
All right, let's imagine we walk right in and ask him a simple question. What's the real capital of your business? Now, he might not use those fancy words, but by showing us his books, he's about to teach us a huge secret about how money really works.
To get us an answer, the shopkeeper grabs his first notebook. And his method is super simple. He's just going to list everything the business owns, all the valuable stuff. In the accounting world, they have a name for this: assets.
So, what's on his list of assets? Well, you've got the obvious stuff, the cash in the till. Then there's all the goods on the shelves, the inventory. Can't forget the furniture and fixtures. But this last one is interesting. Money that his customers owe him. Yep, even an IOU from a neighbor counts as an asset. First thing he does is count the cash. At the end of the day, he's got a neat 1,000 dinars. This is the easiest asset to understand, right? It's money he can spend immediately. Next up, he does a quick inventory of everything on the shelves. All that stuff waiting to be sold adds up to about 3,000 dinars. This is basically the heart of his business, all his potential sales just sitting there. Then you've got the things that help him sell the goods, the counter, the shelves, the displays. These things are valuable too, and they help the business run every single day. He figures they're worth about 2,000 dinars. And finally, he flips to a page where he keeps track of the tabs for his regulars. It's a small neighborhood. People pay him back at the end of the week. In total, he's owed 1,000 dinars. That's money that's rightfully his, even if it's not in his pocket yet. Okay, so he adds it all up. The cash, the goods, the furniture, and what he's owed. The grand total of all his assets comes to 7,000 dinars. So there it is. The shop owns 7,000 dinars worth of stuff. That's got to be his capital, right? His true net worth. Easy. Story's over. Or is it? Just when we think we've got it all figured out, he gives us a little smile and pulls out a second notebook. And this one, he tells us, is just as important as the first. This, my friends, is where the plot thickens. See, this second notebook isn't about what he owns. It's about what he owes. These are his debts, his obligations to other people. And in accounting, these are called liabilities. Remember all that inventory we counted? All those goods worth 3,000 dinars? Well, it turns out he got a lot of that stuff from his suppliers on credit. So he has the products, yeah, but he hasn't actually paid for all of them yet. He shows us the number in his book. He still owes 2,000 dinars to his suppliers. This is really important. It means someone else has a claim on a piece of his business. Okay, so now we've got the two big pieces of the puzzle. We know what the shop owns, its assets, and we know what it owes, its liabilities. Now, finally, we can figure out what the owner's real, actual stake in the business is. And you know what? The math is incredibly simple. You just take the total assets, that's the 7,000 dinars, and you subtract what the business owes to other people, the 2,000 dinars in liabilities. What's left over? Well, that's the real answer. So, the owner's true capital is 5,000 dinars. That's the real value. It's what would be left for him if he sold everything and paid off all his debts. This is his personal stake, his piece of the pie. This is his equity. So really, equity is just the net value of the assets. It's what you own, free and clear after everyone else has been paid. It's your actual wealth from the business. So we have our three key players: assets, liabilities, and equity. And the crazy thing is how they all fit together in this perfect, unbreakable balance. Think of it like a perfectly balanced seesaw. Look at it this way. The entire pie is the total assets, the 7,000 dinars. But that pie has claims on it from two different groups. The suppliers have a claim to their 2,000 dinar slice, and the owner has a claim to his 5,000 dinar slice. See how the two slices, the two claims, add up to the whole pie? They always do. And that little pie chart perfectly explains the single most important formula in business: assets equals liabilities plus owner's equity. It just means that everything a company owns has to be claimed by someone, either by creditors or by the owners. It all has to come from somewhere. And I'm telling you, this isn't just for our little corner shop. From the smallest startup to the biggest company in the world, this one simple, beautiful equation is the bedrock of all accounting. It's a system of checks and balances, and it always has to balance. Always.
So here's something to think about as we wrap up. This whole idea, it doesn't just apply to a business, it applies to you. What are your assets? Your cash, your car, maybe your house? And what are your liabilities? Your student loan, your credit card bill, your mortgage? If you did the math, what would your own personal balance sheet actually look like?